ways that we can all stay organized. Plus, over the weekend, some folks got married on Saturday. Yes, they took a real leap of love. Their story is definitely a good one.
And if you shop at Giant Eagle and use their Fuel Perks program, we have some changes that you'll need to know about. What's new starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New with Betsy, Kling and Jay Crawford.
Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to Monday. Here we are.
We made it.
Start of a new week. Had beautiful weather over the weekend, and some warm temperatures are sticking around for us.
Yay.
Some very good news. Matt will have more on the forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. But Jay Crawford, Betsy, Kling, so glad you're with us.
Yeah, we're going to lead today with the story that really has been dominating headlines for about the past week now, and that is the coronavirus. We wanted to start by updating our viewers on some new numbers. Worldwide, number of cases now up to just under 90,000. Slightly more than 3,000 of those have resulted in death. Here in the U.S., there are 91 reported cases, with more than half of those being repatriated from either China or the Diamond Princess cruise ship. Of the 91 cases in the U.S., we now have 6 deaths, all of them right around the Seattle metropolitan area. Over the weekend, New York, Florida, and Rhode Island all reported their first cases of the coronavirus, but fears of the virus have eased at least a bit now on Wall Street. We watched that climb all day long. They closed finally just after 4 o'clock. Up nearly 1,300 points. That is the biggest single-day gain in market history.
A lot of people very happy to see that, kind of taking a deep breath. And then at the same time, the next story is that right here in Ohio, back at home, a Summit County judge decided to quarantine herself, and her husband also voluntarily quarantined himself, because they just returned from a trip to Italy. Judge Allison McCarty spoke exclusively to our Andrew Horansky.
They have a visiting judge who's going to cover for me, and my fellow judges have also said they'll do whatever they can to help, so I appreciate that. I don't want to make the lawyers, the litigants, or my employees nervous and uncomfortable to be around me, so we'll figure it out.
Okay, so they go to Italy, they come back.
Yep.
Are they showing symptoms? Is there a reason?
No, you saw her right there. She looked,
Okay.
She sounded fantastic. This is something that we have to stress. She is doing voluntarily. She does not have to do. This is an abundance of caution. But no, she is not required to quarantine. She is showing all signs of health, and she talked to us today and was as lovely as ever.
An interesting decision to voluntarily quarantine yourself. It's one, Drew, we haven't seen very often. I can't remember anybody saying I'll volunteer to sequester myself for the next 14 days away from everybody because I might be sick.
Right. Well, here's the deal. She was in northern Italy, and as we know, Italy, of all countries in Europe, has experienced the worst cases of coronavirus. They've had the most number of cases in Europe. Hundreds of people have become infected there. They were in Venice. They were there for the carnival, which, of course, is right before Ash Wednesday. It's like our Mardi Gras, and they decided to spend their 30th anniversary there, their 30th wedding anniversary. Beautiful pictures. And they had their daughter. So here's what happened. She lives in Paris. She came to meet up with her mom and dad for a couple of days of fun, goes back to Paris and starts getting sick, showing symptoms of the flu. Mom and dad go to Florence. They complete their anniversary trip. They get back to Cleveland last night, and that is when they hear from their daughter this morning that, work doesn't want me to show up, and my doctor is saying maybe I should quarantine at home, and maybe you guys should do the same thing, and the Summit County Courthouse is not the place you should be going to.
Right.
Definitely not.
And it's a 14-day quarantine.
So 7 days since they've seen her, they have to wait 14 days since the last time they saw their daughter.
Oh, my word.
Wow.
That's a long stretch.
Yep.
More at
They
6?
all get healthy soon.
Yeah.
More at 6?
More ticks.
More at 6.
More at 6. I'm telling you, my brain's not functioning. It's Monday.
all
Yes,
good.
more at 6. We will hear more from her at 6.
Very good.
For sure.
We'll look forward to that.
Thank you.
Now, with concerns still on the rise, many of you are asking, what can we do to reduce the risk of contracting the coronavirus? Area schools, including Rocky River and Lakewood, sent a letter home to parents of children that go to school there, detailing ways that they can help keep their kids as safe as possible from the spread of the virus. Obviously, the tips are the usual. Wash your hands as often as possible. Wipe down surfaces as often as possible. And also, if you're feeling sick, and this is to Drew's last story, stay home. If you don't have to go to school, then don't, particularly if you're not feeling well. 3 News senior health correspondent Monica Robbins is here now. Monica, we know about washing hands. We've talked about that incessantly over the last couple of weeks. Other than that, what are things that we should all be doing?
Well, you and I talked about this earlier. So, yep, the greeting.
Yeah, this is Monica and I's greeting now.
Yes, instead of shaking hands,
Right.
you know, because that's how germs spread, you can come up with your own. Everybody used to do the elbow.
Sure.
You can
Then
do
the
that.
fist bump came.
No, fist bump. Yeah, if you don't
but that's
want
kind of
contact.
close.
It's
It's still contact.
close.
It's still contact.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you know what? If you want, you know, come up with some. This was ours,
yeah.
you know. But you can come up with something, or just the head nod, or
Right.
Right.
you know, air high five, that
Okay.
kind of thing.
Very good.
That's one thing you can do. The other thing is social distance. So the CDC recommends it's not a bad idea, especially if you're at work, to keep some social distance between people, especially at work. Now, you and I, we actually measure this. Matt Babb, your director, measure this. So, Jay, you and I are actually 5 feet apart right
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Betsy, you and I are a little too close. We're about 2.5 feet apart.
Wow.
So,
is there a recommended distance? that
yeah,
you should
there's
try to keep?
actually a recommended distance, so you want to be about 3 feet apart from one another. So
Okay.
that's a decent social distance to keep apart in case you're getting sick. Now, 5 feet is good, and if you
Yeah.
are sick, like Drew said, best thing to do, stay home. The same rules apply for if you have the flu. So let's not worry so much about coronavirus right now. These
Yeah.
apply for the flu as well.
Yeah.
That's really important. And then, how many
Right.
of you?
Got your disinfecting
Yes,
wipes.
I do. Now, did you ever read the fine print?
I just saw 99.9% effective against virus.
Right, and everybody loves that. But
Yeah.
did you ever read the fine print?
I have not read the fine print. What
no,
am I in for?
of course not, because everybody thinks all you need to do is you're just going to wipe your keyboard, and then
right.
you're going
I
to take
just
it.
did that to my desk 10
Did
minutes
you?
ago. Yeah.
Did you? And
10
then
minutes ago.
You used one, right?
I used one and then I threw it away.
And then you wiped your keyboard, and then you wiped your desk.
Yeah,
and then
so
you,
I just spread the germs all over.
Yeah, you pretty much did.
Oh.
So here's the trick.
One per surface.
Yes, one per surface. And then here's the better thing. If you're going to disinfect, you have to wipe this, and then it has to stay wet for 4 minutes.
4 minutes?
4 minutes.
Wow.
Yes, that's
Okay.
the only way it's going to stay.
That's
to
helpful info. I
disinfect.
didn't know that.
Yeah, and if you would read the back, read the label, like I tell people almost every day with
All
their
right,
medication.
will you stay here and keep doing
Yeah.
this?
Make sure it's wet for 4
4
minutes.
minutes, yeah. No, it's already drying. So yeah, then get a fresh one and start over.
All right.
Very good.
Thank
There
you,
you go.
Monica,
See you at
very
6.
much. We'll see you with more at 6, certainly. Well, also on our feed at 5, changes to Giant Eagle's Fuel Perks program will be taking effect today. Customers can't double coupons anymore. Drat. And your fuel perks will begin resetting every month if you don't have at least 50 perks in your account. Now, 1 point is accumulated for every dollar spent inside their store and 2 points for every gallon of gas purchased.
Okay.
Do you do the fuel perks thing?
I do. My wife does the shopping, and every once in a while she'll say, "Hey, if you'd like,
Right.
you can probably get gas for like 75 cents a gallon if you go up to the get-go."
Right.
And so I try to make it a point to go there when I know that the perks are high and
Yeah.
ready to boil over. I don't know. She's not even sure how the old program works. She
Right.
said, "All I know is every once in a while they just go away."
Just you scan your card and it'll tell you how much you get off, and
Yeah.
things are good after that.
I've wondered, Betsy, how can they afford to do this? Because at one point when gas was just under $3 a gallon, I filled up for like 68 cents.
I'm not worried about Giant Eagle.
No, I don't
Giant
think we
Eagle is
should.
Okay, not worried at all.
But I like that perk. That is
Yeah.
a perk that I use, and I take advantage of it.
I used to always too put my groceries. I'd forget my card and I'd put my groceries on somebody else's card. Hey, can I borrow your card just to get the discount? They get the perks.
All right.
Or I'd put my mom's number in all the time too. So
Well,
share
hey,
the love.
that's good for her. All right, Russ Mitchell is at the news desk right now. He has other top headlines making news this hour. Hey, Russ.
Well, who knew that Betsy Kling was a Fuel Perks scofflaw?
Yeah, I know, right?
Just
I
like
gotta
this.
say that
Just hand
surprised
it
me
out.
a little bit.
Wow, my
it
goodness.
surprised me.
Bad girl. All right. Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon to you at home. The U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to hear a case that threatens Obamacare. It's an appeal by 20 states that declare the part of the Affordable Care Act that requires all Americans to have insurance is unconstitutional. However, the court is likely not expected to take up the case until after the election in November. Amy Klobuchar is out. She is the latest Democrat to end their presidential campaign. She'll formally endorse Joe Biden tonight at a rally in Texas. Her exit comes less than a day after Pete Buttigieg dropped out of the race, all ahead of Super Tuesday tomorrow, a big day with delegates in 14 states up for grabs. And today we celebrate reading. I had the honor of reading to a great group of kids at the Cleveland Clinic Children's Hospital for Read Across America Day. Today also celebrates the birthday of beloved author Dr. Seuss. So there was a party in his honor. How you like that hat? March is National Reading Month, and they let me keep that hat. So if you guys want to borrow it sometimes, you're certainly welcome to do that.
I may need that at some time. I like the look, Russ. I think it's a really good look.
Okay, all right. Maybe at 6 o'clock we'll go for that. And then security will escort me out, but it's all good. Thanks, Jen.
And you're going to do the entire news with rhymes, right?
Exactly.
Now that would be that would be worth the watch. All right, Russ, thanks. We'll see you in about 30 minutes when we check the headlines at the bottom of the hour. Still ahead on what's new. Leap Day birthdays happen by chance. We know that, but would anyone actually choose to get married on a leap day? Your anniversary comes just once every 4 years. We found an area couple that did, and they'll tell us why they did it.
And Stephanie Haney is keeping an eye on what's clicking in Cleveland. Hello.
Hello, Betsy. Take a look at this. This is not an ice sculpture. This is an actual house off of Lake Erie near New York. We'll tell you how it ended up like that and how Cleveland ended up getting a shout out on Saturday Night Live this weekend.
Yeah, that's an interesting story. Matt, how's the drive home looking?
I don't know. I'm doing 4 minutes worth of wipes on this traffic clicker, so
just keep wiping.
I'll just get out of the way for you. All right, traffic not too bad. Boy, has anyone noticed the changes on 271 as you're heading southbound? They've got everything. The merger lanes, they've got the traffic flow working after years of construction. It's flowing just fine. Yay. Elsewhere across the area, we've got kind of foggy skies. We do have some slowdowns near the airport. No accident there, just your typical slowdowns 480 and 71. Our final stop taking us down to Route 8. With the new construction pattern down there, no problems so far for the evening rush hour.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Well, it only happens every 4 years, but this weekend several couples took the leap of love. They got married at the Perkins-Stone Mansion in Akron.
Our Lindsay Buckingham talked to one couple who met through rowing and found love when they least expected it.
Are you ready? Some things are just worth the wait. That's something Jeff Chunyo and Carolyn Williamson know firsthand.
I had kind of reached a point where I thought, maybe I'm gonna grow old on my own.
I remember a number of years ago, one of my younger cousins said, I'm gonna be like Uncle Jeff, I'm never getting married. And I said, oh, Kevin, please don't say that. It really wasn't a plan.
Now, it's the only plan, an unusual wedding date for an unexpected romance.
In sickness and in health.
They lived most of their lives on different paths. Carolyn starting over after divorce and a life-changing surgery for Meniere's disease.
I felt like I'm living again, and I'm not giving up on this one.
So she went back to her roots in Northeast Ohio.
Had some hard, rough spots adjusting, and my sister's the one who dragged me into rowing. She was like, you have to get out of your house. You need to be doing things.
So you got the bug.
I did. I got the bug. I was bit.
Then in walks Jeff.
Mm-hmm. And my thought was, great teammate. He can carry the boat.
New teammates, same foundation.
My team from the year before, they couldn't get a coach. And so I had to move to the veterans team. The veterans program had started the year before. And I saw them all over there, and I noticed her.
Because you do recognize once you've served that you look at things a little differently than people around you who haven't.
Soon, teamwork turned into friendship, and then something rocked the boat.
And I realized how much of an impact he was having on me in a very positive way. And I wasn't even sure it would be romantic, but I wanted him in my life.
Well, it was very easy. We just clicked.
They were ready to take the leap.
And wouldn't that be hilarious to do it on Leap Day? We were, like leap of faith, leap year, leaping into something.
Well, for me, it was it Friday or Saturday? Yeah. We're going, let's do this, we need to do this now.
On this leap day, they said their vows.
I now pronounce you husband and wife.
The kind of love you don't find every day or year.
Couldn't they be any more adorable?
Yeah.
They're so cute.
They're so cute. And you know what? They're proof that you don't give up on love. They're two veterans who served their country. They thought, hey, I may never get married. But then they got into rowing and found each other and took the leap.
Try something new, you never know who you're going to meet. So what's next for this couple?
So Carolyn is getting after the rowing seriously. She wants to row the Atlantic.
Oh my gosh.
And yes,
What?
she wants to row the Atlantic.
That's never been done before. Row the Atlantic?
She wants to row.
She
wants to row in the ocean because she got into rowing later on in life as well. So of course she's going to have Jeff, her rowing partner and now life partner, right by her side.
That's so cute.
And he'll have the Indians hat on, and he'll be chill in the back going, yep.
He's a really chill
Row
guy.
the Atlantic. That must take 6 months.
She wants to row the Atlantic, so she has to train. So
Wow.
they've got a long road,
What a
but
huge
hey,
goal.
now they've got each other by their side.
Yep.
Good for them.
Thank you
Great
so much.
story.
I love that.
And we
Kinda
want an
fun.
update on how that rowing the Atlantic thing works out.
Right,
absolutely.
I want to talk to someone that's done that. It's got to be harrowing.
Well, you know what? She's dedicated. I believe she could do it.
All right. Good luck to
Cool.
them.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Got to have good weather to row the Atlantic.
I'm blown away by this.
You're not out there while the middle of the hurricane season's going
Matt,
on.
are you
for
with
sure.
me? Are you?
Listen, I'm excited to get to work every day. I feel like it's an accomplishment if I drive the interstate here, let alone row the Atlantic. Absolutely.
The
What about-
Titanic couldn't make it.
Right? This
Just
is-
saying.
Yeah, this is a feet. So.
Jeez, Jay.
I want updates. That's got to take a year.
Too soon,
All right,
Jay.
the word of the
It's been
day
100
is
years.
What do you got today?
Honeymoon.
good one.
In honor of
that's
our
easy.
couple. Yeah.
That's easy to fit in a
See what you can do
forecast
with
honeymoon.
that. All right.
Fantastic.
Jason Fraser is still on his honeymoon. Does that
No,
count?
you
That's true.
cannot use it in regard to Jason or Romney.
All right. Well, thanks, Betsy, for the tip, but Jay's shut me down here. All right. Nothing like starting a forecast with the Arctic Oscillation. Betsy, you excited? You pick it up a little bit. Why has it not been so cold this winter? Why have we had a mild winter? Well, one of the things we go to is the Arctic Oscillation, which has been in this stage, the positive stage for the majority of the winter. We've got the Arctic jet stream, or the polar jet stream, that has been going pretty fast from west to east. That blocks us off from the cold air, keeps the mild air around. Now, when it goes into a negative phase, which we haven't seen a lot of this winter, you've got a weaker jet stream that allows some of the cold air to come south, some of the warm air to go north. This has not happened much this winter. center. It's been in the positive phase, and as a result, we've kept the cold air off to the north. But even so, areas of Alaska have had one of the coldest winters on record. They have had just all sorts of snow up there as well because that cold air stayed there. They haven't had the warm air. And look at the map here today, more of the same. All the Arctic air stuck up in Canada. We've got spring-like temperatures. Second day in a row, we've had 60s and 70s as close as Cincinnati. So if you feel like taking a road trip down to somewhere a little bit warmer, that's where you'd go. But we're pretty mild here this evening. We're near 50 degrees for most of us. We've got a nice south wind. We had the rain earlier. That is pushed on out. You can see I kind of overlaid the visibility on here. We've got reduced visibility as the fog and kind of murky atmosphere sneaks in here. And that's what we're going to deal with tonight. Some fog, some leftover drizzle as this kind of air mass remains unchanged. But we'll likely see another wave of rain develop during the daytime tomorrow. That will spread more showers in the northeast Ohio throughout the day. And our quick moving weather pattern will bring yet another system in here on Wednesday. So let's take you through the forecast. Scattered showers with some areas of fog tonight. That will last through tomorrow. We should make it up near 50 again tomorrow. And then as we head on into Tuesday night, we're dealing with another area of moisture heading through. And our warm temperatures, well, the honeymoon's going to be over for that as we bring in colder air over the next couple days in your Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast. There you go. I think Thursday's shaping up to be a good day. If you're a snow lover, we get more snow in here and windy conditions Friday night. And don't forget to switch those clocks forward. Sunsets, guys, 7:30 and beyond as we go into the weekend.
Finally, our days are getting a little bit longer.
Fantastic.
Very good news.
I
All
love
right,
that.
after the break, SNL made a joke about travel from New York City to Cleveland. Hear what they said next in Clicking in Cleveland.
All right, I didn't see SNL Saturday night, but now I'm anxious to see how they're joking on Cleveland.
Oh, well, Jay, I think you'll actually particularly appreciate it when we get there.
Okay.
First, we're going to talk about Sunday, though. Sunday was the NBA's buyout deadline, and Tristan Thompson is still with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So the way this works is if you trade someone before the buyout deadline, it's considered early enough in the regular season that they can still play in the playoffs with their new team. So Thompson's contract is up this year, and he's a good player, so that was a strong possibility for him. but that's not going to happen because they did not do anything with him before the deadline on Sunday. Now, there is still a possibility that he might end up somewhere else, but he just won't be able to play in the playoffs now for anyone else this year. All right, last week we know was pretty windy off of Lake Erie here in downtown Cleveland. I personally walked out my door and about got knocked over, but it wasn't only in Northeast Ohio, okay? There were houses near the water at Hoover Beach in Hamburg, New York that got covered in massive icicles. Take a look at this. Now, this is thanks to cold temperatures, gale force winds, and 18-foot waves from Lake Erie. One resident from the area said he's never seen conditions this bad before, and the front of his house was so covered in ice that was 1 to 3 feet thick that he had to chisel his way inside.
It looks fake.
It doesn't look real, you're absolutely right. Okay, now, speaking of New York City, a Saturday Night Live skit made fun of disaster travel issues that we experience when we travel from New York to Cleveland. Jay, I know you've had to have experienced this because I have. Jake Gyllenhaal played a traveler stuck at the airport in his pajamas, and guest host John Mulaney played an airport employee letting him know his flight was finally ready. Check it out.
Okay, Jesus, we get it. You can continue on to Cleveland now.
How'd you know I was going to Cleveland?
That's where everyone at LaGuardia is going, like it or not.
Now, I know if I've experienced it, you've experienced it for sure. Betsy, I don't know if you've made the trip from LaGuardia to Cleveland.
I flew through LaGuardia once, and that was enough for me.
Oh, my goodness. It was closest to my
need.
place in Brooklyn, so I did it often. But one time, I ended up in Detroit when I was trying to get through Cleveland to Chicago. That's just a mild story.
Oh, they got you close. That's
you know,
good.
Yeah, pretty close.
Will
when you
Detroit
don't have a car.
work? No, it won't actually. All right. Stephanie, happy birthday.
Yeah. Thank you very
happy
much.
Birthday.
Thank
she
you.
was born 3/2.
Yep.
March 2nd at 3:02 in the morning.
I came out very precise.
3:02 on 3:02.
True to personality.
Happy birthday, Stephanie.
Thank you.
All right, there is a new rock climbing gym in downtown Cleveland.
Yeah, I love
read
this.
that since. I had to read it again. I had no idea this was going on. So,
Well-
of course, we sent Mike Polk to give us a first look inside.
Is he in a tuxedo?
Mike, what are you doing in a tuxedo?
I'm at Nosotros on Euclid. It's a hot, new rock climbing place, and I'm going to climb this rock climbing wall soon.
Why the tux?
Is it? Oh, I see. It's a bit of a misunderstanding. I thought that this was like the grand opening, and it really comes down to me misreading emails.
No.
I've got to be a little more diligent about it. But the bottom line is I don't have any other clothes, and so I've got to climb this wall in a tuxedo in a little bit. So that might be something fun to watch.
I don't know that anybody's ever tried that before. So it's a first on What's New.
Yeah.
Can we meme
It's accidentally a bold new move I'm making right now. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, the memes to come.
So anyways, though, it'll be fun for everybody at home because this will actually be the first exercise I got since, I think, grade school. And if you want to watch a grown man cry, don't change that dial.
Oh,
Right,
it'll
guys?
be fun. I promise you, someone earlier today in the newsroom asked Mike, I didn't know can you climb rock walls? I didn't know that. And he goes, I don't know.
Are you scared of heights?
Yeah.
We're going to find out.
We'll find out.
Oh, jeez.
Very good.
We're going to find out, guys.
Well, you look dapper. Completely on point.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
We will do that
Happy opening.
in the next half hour. Also coming up on What's New at 5:30. So how does the coronavirus compare to the flu? We have an interesting conversation about that. Our expert standing by, he's going to answer all of Betsy and I's questions, and we have a lot of questions.
We do. And if you have not yet filed your taxes, you're not alone. But we have ways to help you stay organized before and after you do your filing.
And how you can own negatives of Marilyn Monroe from the film Niagara, and how much they're going to set you back. That story and much more when What's New comes right back. Stay with us.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New with Betsy Kling and Jay Crawford.
Happy Monday. I promise we can get through this together.
Yep.
I probably just stick together on Monday. You can make it through. Welcome back to What's New with Betsy Kling. I'm Jay Crawford. Snow has melted.
Yes.
With a lot of warm temperatures over the weekends and even into today. It makes me happy because I'm not a big fan of the snow, but this dog in particular, not happy that it's all gone. Isn't he a cutie? This is Titan. He's a canine on the Lorraine Police Department, and he loves the snow. He just covers himself in it each time he goes out in it. His owner says Titan also loves cheeseburgers, duh, tennis balls, and, of course, chasing down the bad guys. Titan is a good boy. And I'm sorry, Titan, that all the snow is gone.
Aww.
It was fun while it lasted, though.
It's so cute to watch dogs when they get out there.
I know.
You know, especially puppies when they first find the snow.
When they first see it.
They're like, what is
Yeah, they're hopping
this?
through it.
And then they go bananas
Yeah.
and dig around. And
It's awesome.
fun stuff. All right, well, it is time now to check on some of our other top stories here at the bottom of the hour. Russ Mitchell getting ready for What Matters Most at 6, and he joins us from his desk in the newsroom. Hi there, Russ.
Hey, Betsy and Jay, we begin this half hour with some sad news to tell you. TV host James Lipton died this morning after a battle with bladder cancer. Lipton became famous for interviewing actors and actresses about their craft. He had that interesting style, sometimes pointed, sometimes open-ended. He created and hosted Inside the Actors Studio, that TV series. It ran for more than 2 decades. James Lipton was 93 years old. To Stowe now, where the police department is welcoming Officer Barry Smith back to work. Officer Smith was hit by a car back in October while directing traffic at the scene of an accident. Glad to have him back on the job. And as we told you earlier, today is Read Across America Day. And to celebrate, local firefighters read to students at 2 elementary schools. We caught up with a Garfield Heights firefighter reading at St. Benedict Catholic School. This was set up by the Cleveland Kids Book Bank, who coordinated some 70 different events across our area today. Those are the headlines at 5:30. I will see you both at 6 o'clock.
All right, thanks so much, Russ, certainly. Well, now it's time for our top talker. 6 people have now died from the coronavirus in Washington state, and there are a lot of questions about how this compares to the flu, which is worse, what should we be more worried about, and of course, we call in the experts for that. Dr. Frank Esper from the Cleveland Clinic is here to answer those questions. Yep. So let's start with the transmission side of things. Obviously, the person-to-person move from of this virus. Is it through contact? Is it through the air? How quickly does it, and does it compare to the flu?
You know, there are a lot of similarities. The first thing is that a lot of people are very anxious right now because there's a lot that we don't know about this virus. And we are learning, though, more and more each and every day. The transmission and how it compares to influenza, because influenza is probably the worst virus that we have going right now. And this one is very similar to it in that it does like to transmit, usually through droplets. And so what we say, every time you cough, every time you sneeze, when you kind of see those little fluid particles, the phlegm and the sputum, you can kind of see a little bit, that's where the virus likes to travel on those little droplets. And it goes about 4 to 6 feet away from you. Yeah. And so anyone within that zone could get it onto them, and therefore then they go ahead and they can become infected themselves.
So transmission rate is similar to the flu?
Well, it's not so much the transmission rate. The transmission rate we still don't know yet, and it's going to take us a while before we really figure out the transmission rate, because right now all we're doing is we're really catching all the ones who are the most severe and not the least severe.
Sure.
There may be people out there that got infected, never even knew that they were sick, and it went away, and we don't know what the rate is, but we're still working on that.
Doctor, what about the mortality rate? How does it flu compare to coronavirus?
So right now, again, the mortality rate, we're still figuring all that out. But what we do know is that this is a dangerous virus, and it is no joke that we have to take it very seriously, and I think we are. We understand, though, that what the problem is that when you talk about mortality rate versus mortality numbers, flu has you beat. All right, flu, you've had 32 million cases of influenza estimated by the Centers for Disease Control just this year in the United States alone. Wow. All right, that's also hundreds of thousands of hospitalizations and tens of thousands of deaths. All right, whereas when you talk about the coronavirus, yeah, we've seen a lot of cases around the world, but we're still only around 100 or so in the United States. And when you talk pound for pound, people who get infected with this coronavirus are a higher likelihood of getting very, very sick and can die just by the numbers from what we're seeing. But we still don't know exactly what that rate is going to be.
Very good.
Thank you so much,
Dr.
Esper.
We appreciate it. Well, Okay, it's time to see what's popping in the entertainment world. And for that, we always turn to Stephanie Haney. Hi, Steph.
Hi, Jay. So I think the Bachelor franchise finally heard the calls of single 30-something ladies everywhere because we're getting a grown-up to star in the season 16 of The Bachelorette. Here's what we know in your pop break. Finally catching up with the real world, the oldest Bachelorette in the franchise's history was announced today at the young age of 38. Claire Crawley, who was originally on Juan Pablo's season of The Bachelor in 2014, is back, and this time men will compete for her love. She'll turn 39 during filming, and it's being reported that some potential suitors have already been recast in favor of more mature men. Go get 'em, girl. And speaking of reality television, everyone is talking about Netflix's new dating show, Love is Blind. Saturday Night Live got in on the action this weekend, spoofing the show with a twist.
They all share something in common. Not only are they truly desperate to get married,
once I'm a wife, I won't have problems.
they're also being quarantined because of exposure to the coronavirus.
In the real show, daters only get to lay eyes on each other if they get engaged and have to decide if they'll get married by the finale. And now we get to check back in with everyone a year and a half later with a reunion special dropping on Thursday. Marilyn Monroe fans, listen up. A set of 200 photo negatives of the Hollywood icon are up for auction with bidding running through Wednesday. The law includes copyright ownership, so the buyer can print and sell them too. The current bid at RR auction is close to $12,000, and the company thinks they'll go for $50,000. And in the biggest change to daytime TV since Oprah Winfrey left the air, Judge Judy as we know it is ending after 25 seasons, and it was the network's call.
What they decided to do was to sell a couple of years' worth of reruns.
We still have a full year of new shows coming our way before that happens, but the Honorable Judge Judy Scheinlin told Ellen that she's not tired yet.
So Judy Justice will be coming out, what, the year later? Where? I can't tell you yet.
You know that's going to be good.
Oh
my
let
gosh.
it be NBC.
Right? So listen to this, okay? I had the pleasure of interviewing Judge Judy when I was getting my master's in journalism in 2016.
Wow.
And she told me her negotiation style, this is what she did every year. She would write down a number on an envelope, go to dinner with an executive at the place, slide it across the table, no negotiation. It was take it or leave it. This was her number. She was not going to do another year
Did
of
they
Judge
have to do it on
Judy
the spot?
Unless they met it.
And
well, that was just it. They didn't have to decide right then and there. He could take
Right.
it home and open it up, but that was it. No negotiation. She was paid $47 million.
Yeah, I knew she was
this year.
up near $50 million a year.
I just want everybody to know that is not how television works.
No, it's not.
Wait, you don't make that? $47 million?
The whole
I know
write,
Matt does.
write the number
Matt-
down and slide it across. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, yeah, goodbye.
Okay, next.
That
Good luck
is
finding
a
that.
boss move.
Hey,
Wow.
we wanted to celebrate
It's
your birthday. Yeah, and we have cupcakes for you.
Yay.
And these are cupcakes that I'm told that you will like.
Thank
you.
Right? They're safe. Everything's good.
There's fish in them, so they're pescatarian and everything.
Now that would be good.
Nothing like a
thank you
salmon
so
cupcake.
much.
Tasty.
I'm
So-
feeling love today.
Take your
Yeah,
pick.
Good. Happy birthday.
They're all
Can
yours.
would you guys like to
You
share?
can do. Oh,
You can
thanks.
take as many as you'd like. It's your
Yeah.
birthday.
Oh, here comes Matt.
Okay, wonderful.
Happy birthday.
Matt's not shy.
And he's out.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
interestingly enough, there are more birthdays to come.
I know.
Oh,
I heard a little rumor that we've got a birthday.
Yes.
Violet turns
tomorrow.
5 on Thursday.
Well, isn't it your birthday coming up too?
No.
Yeah.
That's the one I heard
You
about.
turned 29, I think. That's what someone told me.
Again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
25.
Hey, tomorrow Cleveland
Thank
is going to
you.
be in the national spotlight. We are being featured on the Kelly Clarkson Show. Jay, you got a chance to be a part of this?
I did. It was awesome, and so is this cupcake, by the way. So I was down at the Rock Hall for the episode that was taped last week. It's going to air tomorrow. It's largely Cleveland-centric. She featured the organization Walls of Love, which of course started right here in Cleveland. Punchkis were also a big part of the show, so
Right.
that you can look forward to that. And
Was there some
Slider,
Rudy Strudel?
the Indians mascot, was on hand. You can catch it all tomorrow right here on 3 at 11 a.m. It was fun. It was fun. It was a great. It is a great cause, and you could feel the love amongst the volunteers. 2 of them were over 100 years old.
I just love that Cleveland's getting some good press and good
Right?
spotlight.
Take that, Saturday Night
Other
Live.
than SNL. Our Mike Polk is a jack of all trades, as we all know, and this time we sent him to a new rock climbing gym in downtown Cleveland. He is wearing a
Stretching.
tux, everybody. Our producer literally got in our ears and said, I can't even with this guy.
I know, we love it.
Yeah.
It's it's going to be fun to watch because he said it's his first physical activity since grade school.
Oh my gosh. All right, Matt, how's the cupcake and how's the weather?
You can tell with how flexible he is. Happy birthday tomorrow, Betsy, by the way. China pollution. Jay, I pulled up the China pollution for you. This is interesting.
This is amazing.
NASA put this out. This is early January. What we're looking at is nitrogen oxide, and you can see some of the red areas. That's a heavier pollution north of Wuhan there. And then you can see over the last month with the shutdown of the factories, wow, what a reduction.
Unreal.
Unreal is right with the pollution. We're not going to talk pollution. We're going to talk forecasts over the next 7 days when we come back.
Oh my gosh, I'm supposed to read this, Jay.
Time for today's pop quiz.
Sorry.
It's Read Across America Day, as Russ has told us, and Dr. Seuss's birthday. What's his real first name? Is it Theodore, Robert, Charles? You can think about that during the break, and we'll answer it on the other side as you look at these delicious cupcakes.
Oh, they are so good. Where are these from? We need to tell them where they're from.
Happy birthday.
All right, did you get the answer right to the pop quiz? We asked, what is Dr. Seuss's real first name? Jay?
This isn't my first guess. I guessed Charles in the newsroom, and I was told wrong.
Charles.
So I know it's not Charles, but I think it's Theodore.
It is Theodore,
Okay,
actually.
good.
Yes.
But it did
on
take me
number
2 guesses.
Well done.
I have to be
According to
honest.
History.com, his full name is Theodore Seuss Geisel. So Seuss is in there.
Well, thank you for making mine and many other childhood memories.
What's your favorite Dr. Seuss book?
Cat in Hat.
Oh, The Places You Will Go.
Oh,
Matt?
the best. That is my number one. Green Eggs and Ham I like as well.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah. Oh,
So
the
good.
And
Places
Hop
You Go
on
is good.
Pop. That's just for you.
They're all great. They're all super.
They're all great.
All right.
I'm
Matt,
trying to come up
is
with
the
a
weather
rhyme
going to be
go
great?
with it. You know what? We're looking kind of murky to start the week. We're going to have these periodic rainfall chances. Not a washout by any means, but a very fast-moving pattern, as you'll see here in the forecast, is going to bring these systems in briefly, and then they're out of here. But the temperatures, they have been mild. So let's talk snowfall in March as we enter meteorological spring around here. We've put together some stats for you. For the month of March, we averaged 7 days with measurable snowfall. Out of that, we average about 8.5 inches on the month so far. Now, the most snow we've ever had in March, 30.4 inches. If we were to hit our record this month, we would catch up to average, believe it or not. We'll be about 30 inches behind if we don't get any. And calculating just snowfall to go, we've got about 23% more in terms of climatologically speaking, how much more snow will fall. But no snow today. We're too warm. We've got a little bit of rain that moved through earlier this afternoon. And then you can see this drizzle. We've got some raindrops, just kind of that annoying wiper situation that you've got where it's, either too fast or too slow. That's what we're going to be dealing with tonight as we've got a lot of lingering moisture from here all the way back towards Chicago. But there's a frontal boundary off to the west. That front drapes down to the south. Along that front, we'll get another wave of low pressure that'll bring some showers up into the area tomorrow. And then off to the northwest, I mentioned that quick moving weather pattern. We've got a system moving very quickly out of Canada. That will bring us some rainfall chances, maybe mixed with some snow as we go on into Wednesday. It will be brief, though, not expecting any impact. So fog and drizzle tonight, the clouds hanging around, periodic raindrops. Notice the temperatures were in the mid 40s tonight, falling back to the low 40s as it looks right now. So a mild overnight. As we go hour by hour through your Tuesday, you can see we're keeping the clouds in the forecast, periodic rain showers. Could come down pretty decent for a time, and that will continue through your Tuesday night. And look at Wednesday's system. We start Wednesday with some sunshine perhaps. Quick system zips through here with a rain-snow mix. Yuck. And then it's out of here. We're back to sunshine by afternoon. Welcome to spring in Northeast Ohio, almost everybody. Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast, 49 tomorrow. We will be cooler Wednesday with that mix. Thursday looks nice. I think we get some sunshine in here up near 50. And then Friday, there's your snowfall chance. Snow showers and windy conditions by Friday evening. Not looking good if you have Friday evening plans. Jay?
Thanks, Matt. Well, yeah, both of us. We're both over here. I just want to tell everybody, Confectionery Cupboard in Menor is where we got those cupcakes.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind because they're very good. Okay, if you're looking for something new and fun to do with friends, I think we have you covered. Mike Polk has just the place for us.
He does. Nosotros Rock Climbing Gym just opened a new location downtown. It is very fancy. You have to wear a tux to do this. And of course, that's why we sent Mike Polk. Mike, I hope that rental didn't send you back too far.
No, don't worry. It's from a thrift store. This was a dead guy's tuxedo. Okay, here's where I'm at. I'm at Nosotros downtown, and it's a great new spot. I'm with a founder here. Everyone say hi to Pete.
Hi, Pete.
Hey, Pete. There it is. Great. This is your second one of these?
Second one.
This is the first one's in Lakewood?
Lakewood, yeah.
This one just opened when?
216, February 16th.
Okay. See, there was a misunderstanding. I thought I was attending a grand opening, and that's obviously, but I didn't know I'd be climbing, but I'm excited to.
Thank you.
And you guys have some great deals going on here, too. Anybody can come down here. What's the deal?
Yeah, so we're doing free coffee all week, and then also the last hour, it's $5.
That's not bad.
From 9 to 10.
You can climb all you want. I could climb that thing 30 times if I wanted to.
Sure.
That's fantastic. And you got some real athletes down here. What are you going to be showing me? Have somebody do something impressive.
We got a full house. We have Emma here who's going to attack this black hold route with the green tape. So when you climb, you start with the tape, and then everything black is in play.
Nice.
So she's using all of the black holds from bottom to top. Feet are really important, and then it finishes up top with the green tape. A lot of people think you got to be strong up top. It's really up to your legs.
That's great.
So Emma got it, no problem. And
Emma's a show-off.
She's an all-star.
All right. Sorry. Okay, now I'm going to give this a swing.
Totally.
Do you have a tip for a guy in a tuxedo on how to climb a wall for the first time?
Yeah, I would say stay low.
Stay low.
Yeah.
Hunker down.
That's right. So start here with the yellow hole.
Are these the easy ones?
Yeah.
I mean, you mean they're the hardest ones here?
Yeah, that's like James Bond stuff right there.
Yeah, you got to be Daniel Craig to climb these ones.
Yeah, that's the Tom Cruise. So you start with the white tape, and then everything yellow.
Okay, everything yellow.
That's right.
All right, here
Mike,
we go.
shouldn't you have a harness on?
What I do now, I do for... Yes, I should. What I do now, though, I do for freedom and 3 news.
Oh, gosh.
Here we go.
Please don't fall.
And I'm doing it.
Well done.
Can we put some sort of exciting music under this?
Yeah, I feel like we should have the theme from Mission Impossible.
I feel like we should have some Hokey Pokey play.
I can't touch that one.
With both hands, and you got it. You can
got it.
Well done.
I did it, you guys.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Hey, that's not bad for a guy who was born in the 70s, everybody. That's awesome. Sorry, I was born in 1984. I wasn't. I'm very old. Well, that was exciting. I feel good. Good luck with the new location.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and you guys should come down here and give it a go. Betsy, Jay, I'd love to see you guys hunkered up on this wall.
Are you just trying to get workers' comp or something?
I really am.
I will
figured
say,
if I twisted something, I could take 2 weeks off.
We did have a conversation about that earlier today. And then he goes out there with no harness. Look at those sweet climbing shoes.
Yeah.
Well, I survived, so you guys are now available to try and abuse me and send me somewhere else tomorrow.
We've got some ideas.
We'll do that. Challenge accepted.
But he has to do it wearing a tux. I think that's it. That should probably be
Fair
the
enough.
gig. Get the gig from here on out. Everywhere Mike goes, we send him wearing a tux.
All right. Well, we are in the thick of tax season. I completely agree with that. We do have advice to help you file and keep you organized after you file.
And we told you on Friday about the polar plunge that happened Saturday. We thought it would be a great idea to send one of our What's New staffers. So we nominated our intern, Hope. We sent her out there. She caught the whole thing on her GoPro camera, and it is our worth the watch video. It's coming up in just a little bit. She told me earlier she's still cold.
Aww.
Well, as you may know by now, every Monday here is what we call Money Monday. Tax season is here. We've got about 6 weeks or so to file, so we thought now would be a great time to bring in Elizabeth Scheiderer. She is a senior financial advisor from NCA Financial, and she's here to help. Yep. Elizabeth, great to see you again.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's start with the people who haven't filed yet. How do we get this thing going?
Yeah, so if you haven't filed yet, guess what? Get organized.
Yes.
Get all those envelopes, get everything together. Once you see it, you might feel a little more motivated. Like, all right, I can do this.
Okay.
So then that moves us on to
setting a date.
Set a date.
What's the setting the date?
Yeah, you got to look at your calendar, protect it, say, all right, this upcoming Saturday or this Thursday night or whatever, I'm going to do it.
So not April 14th.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Like most Americans do.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's an artificial deadline, but it's good to have a little safety net if you need it.
Correct, because if you need to file an extension, that's the third thing to consider if you haven't filed yet, you still have to pay. So if you need to come up with the cash, make some plans, you don't want to be there on the 14th having to deal with
So
that.
what do you do? Just chuck a guess at them? Like, hey, here's $500. I think I owe that much.
Yeah, so you want to make an educated guess going through your return, what you owned last year. Seek the help of a professional if you need it. That's one way to get through this.
Right.
Just, pay for some help and then go ahead and make that.
But don't leave it to the last minute.
Don't.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
That's never good. Okay, well, for people who have already filed it, you put together a checklist of things that they need to remember?
Yeah, so step one is you do want to go ahead and confirm your refund status. Go online, check on the IRS's site, make sure everything's moving along. That's all in good shape? Great. Then you want to go ahead and stay organized because you're going to need
the checklist.
Yes, you're going to need last year's return when you go to do next year's return.
Right.
You have everything together. Don't let it go all over the place. Just stay organized.
Yeah.
And then the third step is, I call it being refund smart. If you know what you're going to do with your refund, you've got a credit card you're going to pay off, maybe retirement savings. If you're smart about it, you're purposeful about it, it just feels that much better.
Okay, I have one question because you mentioned keeping last year's returns. I've heard different stories about how long you should keep your tax records.
Yeah, rule of thumb is 7 years.
7 years. So every
that, chuck
year.
'em.
Yeah, I would safely chuck them.
Yeah.
Yeah, destroy them. And then, here's a question for you, and this might be a little difficult because I'm asking for a very broad number here. But is there, for your general filing, is there too much that someone can spend to have their taxes prepared? Is there a ballpark figure that we should expect to spend?
Yeah, I think rule of thumb is anywhere between $250 and $500 for a basic return. So
anything more than that, you might want to get a second opinion.
Correct, but again, everyone's got different circumstances, so we have to be mindful.
All right.
It's always so tricky, and if you miss one thing,
Yeah, and just don't get audited.
Stressful.
All right, Elizabeth, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you
We
guys.
appreciate it. The polar plunge, the video that we all can't wait
Hope
to
the
see.
intern.
Yeah, we wanted to do it, but Hope said, no, I got this.
Oh,
I got
yes.
this.
Yeah, there she is.
Yeah.
She's warming up now. We'll be back in just a minute.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Hello, Al. We begin with developing news as the coronavirus spreads across the globe, with more countries reporting new cases.
Hello, Al Wool. How are you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm talking to Al Wool.
How you doing?
Hello, hello, hello. Am I in the right place? Please get your information from reputable sources such as the Browns' Jim Donovan.
All right, time for our Worth the Watch video. It's how we wrap up what's new every day. People braved the freezing water for the Cleveland Polar Plunge this weekend. More than $80,000 was raised for Special Olympics Ohio. And among those, it's our intern Hope. She decided to brave the cold waters, and she took her very own GoPro.
Okay, I don't see your hair wet there. Did you go in the whole way?
I went in about hip deep.
Come on.
That's enough, Betsy.
It's cold. It's stab
stabbing, Betsy. It is stabbing pain, okay? It is so cold.
And then you're standing there in the wind.
Just waiting for it is brutal.
I'm shivering.
Isn't it? Have you thawed out now?
I have. I have thawed out. I did not thaw out doing that beforehand.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Well done, Hope.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yep. I took
We're
off
done.
my jacket.
Back tomorrow at 5. We're out of time.
What matters most starts now.
Well done.